All right, we are seeing some tires being warmed up. Ula Jager from Norway on the start line. In that Toyota Supra, Donovan Brockway warming up his tires and now pulls up to the start line. So our first official head-to-head battle this weekend here at Texas Motor Speedway. This is Pro 2 competition. All right, so Ula Jager out front and Donovan Brockway in the chase position. Initiated into that first outer zone. Donovan getting back to the door of Ula Jager. Nice job. Through the power alley. Quick transition. Donovan finds himself in the dirt. A lot of dirt being thrown up. On track. Ula filling that outer zone. Donovan quite a bit of distance back from the Norwegian driver. All right, so Ryan, let's take a look at this again.
Yeah, some interesting events here. You can see kind of a straight line approach here from Ula. Initiates right there. Donovan Brockway tries to dive in on the inside. Now watch right here as Ula's going to kind of go a little bit long on that inside clip. Now as he shoots into outer zone number 2, he's going to take a midline here, but Brockway goes way deep and goes off course there. It looks like they was all 4 wheels off. So that looks like it's going to be a big mistake there. He should have tried to anticipate Ula's line coming through that mid to wide line in through the power alley. And we're all getting hit with a little bit of dust now as you can see just the extent of how far he went off course there. So now we'll switch things up and we'll see Ula chase down Donovan Brockway here in the second half of our battle in the top 16.
And here we go, Donovan Brockway out front. Jager in the chase position. Donovan initiating, big angle there, quickly. Great to angle for Donovan. Nice job by Brockway, really gassing out. Ula Jager still holding on. Jager, straight line approach there to that front clip, transitioning into that final outer zone. Donovan, massive angle there, powering through that final front clip.
Yeah, Jager had a really big opportunity here to strike on that mistake that Brockway made, but it looks like he might have given one back here to Brockway. You can see Brockway initiates, gets to that outer zone, nice and tight on that inside clip. Now there's going to be some separation here. It looks like Ula kind of gets lost in the smoke, and you can see right here he goes way wide, and he's way lost back there. He's also straightening up and kind of loses a lot of ground here to Brockway. So while Brockway went 4 off, Jager straightened up through the power alley.
And here we go, slide him left for Brockway, slide him right for Jager. And Ryan says Ula Jager, Brian says one more time, and Andy says Ula Jager gets the victory. Our #1 qualifier takes out Donovan Brockway in that Red Baron Racing BMW E30. Next up, we got Austin Meeks and Travis Reeder. All right, one driver already into the grade 8. And Austin Meeks, who qualified 8th, will lead, but Travis Reeder qualified 9th, so should be a fairly equally matched battle here. Meeks out front, committed S14. Travis Reeder, Achilles radial, S13. Here we go. Meeks initiates. Reeder back quite a bit of distance. Does he have the power to hang with Meeks? Looks like he's gaining some ground. That Meeks hammering down. Austin Meeks, consistent, taking out that front clip. Into that outer zone. Look at, see Travis Reeder shallowing up. What is going on there? That's not what we're looking for. Come on, Reeder. As we'll take a look at this again here, Ryan.
Well, let's take a look. As you can see, Meeks out front, Reeder here in the chase position here. Nice initiation there by Meeks. Reeder falls back just a little bit, but obviously it's going to be that last section of the course that we're going to want to pay the most attention to. Meeks out front coming through this power alley on a kind of a mid-line here. Reeder's going to come up on the inside. Meeks is going to straighten out a little bit right there and overshoot this section. Now that is technically, Jared, a passing area, but you got to be able to do it cleanly.
All right, so trying to clarify who is at fault here, but again, both of them really not taking the proper line. It looks like they are ready to go at it again, Reeder and Meeks.
Well, Jared, there was contact there, so in the case of that, if there are any repairs made, the judges need to make a decision on whose fault it is. Now, the fault may not have anything to do with the overall result. It just has to do with whether or not a driver is going to be able to utilize or not utilize their competition timeout or get an allotted time. And it sounds like the 2 judges went for the fault of Reeder and 1 went with unknown, or blame both of them at fault.
Right. So kind of null and void.
It's basically, yeah, so that's basically a non-vote, and so that would be majority rule. So if we get into a situation where there's a need for a competition timeout because of damage, it will be Reeder that would need to use his competition timeout, and
right.
Meeks that would be able to take advantage of the time. But I think they're inspecting the vehicles on the line now.
Okay, it does look like Meeks will institute his ability to take a look at his car because of Reeder, as you said, Ryan, is at fault. Majority rules 2-1. So this has big implications here for the championship. You know, Travis Reeder leading the points. He only had a 20-point gap over Matt Van Kirk, and I'm looking over in the pits. I'm seeing Matt Van Kirk's vehicle still up in the air. It's the bright orange S chassis. You can see the back end of it is up. So again, Reeder is deemed at fault 2-1. So Van Kirk, or excuse me, not Van Kirk, but Meeks will get hands on his car. We'll see if Reeder institutes a competition timeout for him because he would need to utilize it. And we will see if we advance on to our next pair. Trenton Beecham at Roush Performance. Nexen Tires, Ford Mustang. Warming it up. And now Randall Waters coming into the burnout box. Ryan, this is pretty big. I mean, if Reeder was at fault there, you know, that would kind of mean that, you know, he has a mistake, and that's going to have you know, implications on the championship.
Yeah, I mean, he'll have a mistake, I think, but you know, they're going to have to look at what that mistake actually did to Meeks and whether or not it had an impact that would essentially be like an incomplete. I don't think that it will in this case. A lot of times when we see contact, we see the battle shut down, and this was at the end of the run. It did have an impact, but obviously we have to take both runs into account. I mean, yeah, the tough part for Reeder here is that he's got only 20 points on second place, and you know, that's not a lot. So he wants to be able to make it into this next round, but like you said, Van Kirk looks like his vehicle is up in repairs right now, so we just don't know.
All right, so now we are seeing both cars on the start line. And here we go, Beecham out front. Randall Waters qualifying 13th, Beecham qualifying a 4th. Look at that, quickly Randall Waters gets to the door of Beecham but has to back off. Beecham, a wide swing around that first front clip. Beecham, great angle there, now coming into that third outer zone. Randall Waters really struggling there to hang with Beecham.
Let's see if they get into each other here on turn 1, Jared. You can see Beecham out front, right there on the brakes as Waters. Looks like there may have been a little bit of rubbing there. And as we come around this first inside clip, you can see just how wide Beecham shoots over there. Now Waters struggling a little bit in the chase position to try to find that line to follow Beecham around. He has to cut it a little bit tight here, falls back a little bit, and then goes wide on that last inside clip. So it looks like the contact, if there was any, didn't play too much of a role there in disrupting Beecham.
All right, so here we go. We are now seeing Randall Waters out front and Beecham in the chase position. Here goes Waters initiating, locking up that back wheel. Beecham really lacking the angle, has the proximity, but like to see him throw down, and he does just that. Come through the power alley, Waters ripping through the course. Really good angle, you can see Waters throwing it down, getting in that outside zone. And across the finish line, Ryan.
Well, second half of the battle here, Waters out front, Beecham in the chase position here. He takes that front to tail approach is Beecham. You can see a little bit lacking the angle, now trying to pour it on here as Waters heads up to that second outer zone, starts to pull away. Great angle here by Waters out front, hitting that inside clip. Beecham trying to close the door here, smartly takes a little bit of a tighter line to get proximity, but obviously wanting to see him follow Waters into the deep waters. And now we've got our first battle complete, or rather our second battle complete, and we'll see how the judges interpret these two runs.
All right, Beecham and Waters awaiting the verdict here. You can see Danny George in that Shango BMW. Scrubbing his tires, getting them warmed up. All right, so Waters, Beecham, slide him left for Waters, right for Beecham, and it looks, Ryan says Trenton. Beecham. Brian said. Really? Okay, so one more time. All right, so we can see Alec Robbins, Coro Works, 350Z going against Las Vegas, car number 702, the Shango Nexon Tire BMW of Danny George. Remember, hashtag FDTX. Hashtag FDTX. Let's see what. All right, here we go. Alec Robbins out front. Robbins, great degree of angle, wide swing. Now bringing in Danny George, way lacking angle. Alec Robbins not really putting the car exactly where he should. Danny George really lacking the angle here. Now Alec brings it around that final clip. Danny taking it out.
Well, a heroic recovery for Danny George after yesterday's accident, and you can see Robbins out front really gets super wide here. The judges want to see a kind of a midline approach and tightening up to that first inside clip, and he's nowhere near that. So George trying to figure out what's going on here, but he's trying to close the door and figure out exactly where Robbins is going to go. Robbins kind of gets on point a little bit past through that power alley here, and then you can see George bringing up the rear end there, trying to close the door. So interesting start, especially the first part of the run there, as Robbins ran that super wide line and completely missed that first inside clip.
Danny George there in the BMW. He will lead out of the start chicane. Really lack of angle there from Danny in the chase position. And Alec way off of the line on initiation. All right, so here we go. And here comes Danny George out front. Alec Robbins in the chase position. Danny slingshotting away from Robbins. Danny with some shimming there. Now coming to the power alley. Alec using all of the course. Whoa, exploding that front bumper. Robbins dancing, flirting with disaster. Wow, held on to that. That could have gone south real quick by Robbins. Let's take a look at that again. That got sketchy, a little pucker effect there.
Straight line approach here for Danny George, initiates into that outer zone. You can see Robbins kind of on the inside. George does overshoot this first inside clip, but not as much as Robbins did. Now as we get to the second outer zone, you can see Danny on a pretty good line here. Nice smooth path through the second inside clip, and then Robbins almost goes into the wall. He does save it. He's able to pull it off, but scary moment there towards the end, and is not able to pull up the rear end to close the door on Danny George through the finish line.
From Alec Robbins and Danny George, who's advancing on. Slide him left for Danny George, right for Alec Robbins. Ryan says Danny George, Brian says one more time, and Andy says Alec Robbins. So it's a one more time. Oh my goodness. Another one more time between Robbins and George. All right, and here comes George K. So we'll advance on to George K. and Kevin Lawrence. So Kevin Lawrence in Juku Racing S chassis warming up his tires. Kevin Lawrence already on the start line. George K warming up his tires. And Juku, well, what happened there? Oh boy. Looks like Kevin is having all right, so Lawrence did jump the light. See if we get a clean start here. And it looks like we do. Here we go. Kevin Lawrence out front. Initiating George K diving in. Like to see some more angle from George. He throws some in it, but then has to back off. Wavering by George in that chase position. K-Law exploding that front clip now into that third outer zone. And Kevin works it across the finish line. Great lead run there from Kevin Lawrence.
Yeah, pretty decent start by both drivers, but after that wavering, just George was not able to really play a factored role in this battle here. You can see Kevin starts off, gets out of that outer zone. Right here, George is going to angle up and then have to pull some angle out of the car. Kevin has a lot of grip. He moves forward, establishes this pretty sizable gap here. He does almost center line that second inside clip, so that'll certainly be a mistake for him. But then right here you can see he's nice and tight on that final inside clip, and George through the finish line, losing a little bit of angle there towards the end. But now he'll have an opportunity to take the lead position, and Kevin Lawrence will chase him down.
George K will be out front. Kevin Lawrence in the chase position. And here we go. George stands on it. See if George can throw down a dominant run out front. Some wavering there from George K's front wheels. Kevin Lawrence gaining some ground on George K into the power alley. Kevin Lawrence, whoa, flirting with that back bumper of that 370Z of George. Kevin Lawrence brings it around. That's gonna, oh, looked like he held on to it just barely. That could have been a larger mistake there by Lawrence.
Well, good anticipatory moves by Lawrence in the chase position, especially on the first half of the battle, really taking it to George. But he makes a pretty sizable mistake on the last corner. Let's take a look at this. George is out to that second outer zone. Kevin right there noses in, is able to get through him right there, just on that transition without hitting him. But then right there, he's on a tighter line. He gets his front wheels off the track, and then right there, he does keep angling the car, but that's a pretty sizable mistake from that third and final outer zone into the final inside clip.
And George K. Slide him left for George, and right for Kevin Lawrence. Kevin Lawrence gets the victory and advances on into the Great Eight. This is the second half of this battle between Reeder and Meeks. We saw the contact happen, and Reeder was at fault, so Meeks chose to utilize his opportunity to make sure everything looks all right. And away they go. Here we go. Reeder out front. He is out front in the points as well. How's he going to fare? He needs to throw down a solid lead run. Into the power alley. Here goes Reeder. Tight to the front clip, transitions into that final outer zone. Ryan, now it's really hard to, again, backtrack. We've seen quite a few runs in between the first portion and this, but let's look at this.
Well, Reeder's championship definitely on the line here, depending on what the interpretation of that final corner was going to be in the first half of this battle. But the second half of this battle, Reeder comes out really strong here. He does a great job hitting that first inside clip after that first outer zone. Through that second outer zone, you can see Meeks right here, not too shabby in the chase position, puts a lot of pressure on him. You can see kind of a little bit of a slow up there from Reeder, and Meeks has to make an adjustment. Good Good battle overall, but Jared, let's go back and take a look at this first run just so everybody can get caught up. We have Meeks in the lead position here, hits that first outer zone. Reeder has a little bit of a gap to make up here, trying to close the door through this first inside clip. Now as Meeks hits the second outer zone and through the power alley, he's really going to push here, and he's going to overshoot this last inside clip by straightening up right there. Now Reeder sees an opportunity, tries to take it. Meeks sees that he's trying to take the line away and pass him on the inside, and had Reeder been a little bit tighter there, he might have been able to make that pass. So those are the two runs back to back, and now the judges have a decision to make with Reeder's championships hanging in the bows.
Again, Reeder currently leading the point standings in the championship for Pro 2. Matt Van Kirk only 20 points behind. If Reeder gets knocked out here, oh, look at that, one more time from Ryan. Bryant, and there it is, another one more time battle. So Andy actually siding with Reeder, but majority rules, they're going to go one more time. Okay, so we are going back to that of Waters and Beecham. Now Beecham will lead. And Beecham qualified 4th, Randall Waters qualifying 13th. And we are ready to send them. Through the start chicane, we got a clean start. And here comes Beecham initiating straight line approach. Randall Waters getting close. You can see him tapping the brakes, working in the side, throwing some more angle out of Beecham. Oh, a big correction there by Beecham and shutting her down. So Beecham having a mechanical issue there, Ryan.
Well, let's take a look at what happened here, and if we can get Lantain on with us too, give us his interpretation as well. But you can see coming out of the gate here, Beecham in the lead position. Waters this one more time battle. Hits that E-brake, gets into that first outer zone. Waters keeping the pressure on him. And then right here, it just looks like Beecham kind of comes out of drift, and then Waters does too. And I don't know if that was because he was anticipating needing to slow down, seeing Beecham. But Ryan, what do you see there between these two drivers?
See what happened with Beecham, because it looked like they straightened up both at the same time. You'd almost wonder if Travis had straightened on his own and then Beecham had an issue, or like you said, did he kind of anticipate something happening there? We'll have to watch that again after this run. It doesn't look like Beecham has any issues, as he's right back at the line now, so hard to say what occurred there, but definitely the lead car was not completing the course, so in that case the chase car is not responsible for completing the course either. We'll have to watch it again though.
See if we have a standout run from either of these guys on the second half of this. And here they go. So Beecham. Now Beecham still on the start line as Waters, the IS, whoa, exploding that front clip. Waters ripping past, taking out some clips. All right, so Trent obviously having some issues there with his vehicle. As we can see, Randall Waters continue through the course. So you have to assume it's going to be going Randall Waters' direction to advance on. Slide him left for Waters, right for Beecham after one more time, and there it is. Randall Waters gets the win. And Waters moves on. All right, so right now we are back on the start line, and it looks like we are having Alec Robbins and Danny George. This is the one more time battle. And Lantain, I think you said it properly. Clean it up. Just clean it up. Need to see a little more angle from Danny George. Alec needs to really partake in the clipping zones and the clipping points. Seemed like right out of the gate on his first battle, just a wide swinging turn. It looked cool, but it was not where he should have been or where the vehicle should have been. And Danny just really needs to be consistent with the angle and throw it down. And it's go time. Robbins, Nakoro works. Nissan Z. Danny George in the chase position. Robbins. Good degree of angle from Robbins. Lighten it up. Robbins looking a lot more composed. Just as I say, that gets into the dirt. Robbins getting all the way to the outside zone. Danny George shortens it up a bit. Got Ryan Lontaine here on the horn as well. Ryan, what are you seeing here?
Well, good initiation from both drivers. It seems like from that point on, right here, I was cheering for Robbins because he actually got into the inside clip. He had an issue with it on the last run. Danny George isn't able to stay in drift in the chase position, but Robbins isn't able to stay on track again. Right. He's not going where he's supposed to go. But you can't excuse the fact that Danny straightened up on his own in the chase position. I don't know if it's it was a result of damage from his expedition onto his roof yesterday, but whatever it is, he's not fulfilling the chase driver responsibilities, and Robbins isn't fully doing what he's supposed to do in the lead either. So they both have an opportunity right now. If Danny can run a clean lead run, then he's going to have an advantage in the lead position. If Robbins can really chase closely, not make any errors there, he'll have an advantage in the chase position. So they both have an opportunity in this situation. Hopefully they take advantage of it.
Okay, so we are going to be seeing Danny George out front, Alec Robbins in the chase position. And here we go. Clear track, two gentlemen ready to do battle. Alec Robbins does leave the line early, but in the chase position, you can leave early. Danny initiates. Alec Robbins right there. Good job by both these guys. Looks like Danny has a wide swing around that first front clip. As you said, Ryan, just kind of lacking the angle. And then now around that final clip. Let's look at this again here. Ryan's, I should say.
Yeah, here we go. So second half of the run, George out front here. Initiates into that first outer zone. Robbins in the chase position. Both guys struggling a little bit on that first inside clip. And as we reach out to the second outer zone, George not getting the full lock there, coming through the power zone, the power alley. And Robbins a few flubs in the chase position, not letting George get away too far, but you can see a couple mistakes by both drivers in the lead and chase position.
It's already in. And I can see Meeks and Reeder. Here we go. Slide him left for George. Slide him right for Alec Robbins. And it looks like Brian says one more time. And Andy says Alec Robbins. Alec Robbins takes out the Shango BMW of Danny George. Alec Robbins gets the victory in his Coro Works Nissan Z. Okay, so Meeks already on the line. And Reeder now pulling up. I'd have to say that Reeder kind of got a lucky break here as far as the championship goes. And we are seeing Meeks and Reeder. The winner going against Bula, Jager. Here we go. Meeks out front. Reeder. Chase position. Achilles tires. Illuminate with horsepower. Meeks through the power alley. Reeder chasing him down. Meeks coming in hot into that outside zone. Reeder gaining some ground. Meeks shallowing up. All right, let's take a look at this again here, Ryan.
Well, we get through that run without anything controversial in the last corner there. Meeks on initiation through that outer zone. You can see again that separation. Reeder, kind of the same thing last time, a little bit of a gap as they were on that center bank. Now through the power alley here, you can see Reeder trying to tighten it up. Meeks reaching out, decent job on that outer zone. A little bit offline there is Reader, but not falling off too far there. So a bit of a back and forth battle. Good start by Meeks out front, pretty solid lead line, or lead run rather, and now they'll switch it up. Reader goes to the lead position. Meeks to the chase. Championship implications here on the line.
All right, Reader in charge of his own fate. He needs to throw down a solid line here. We'll see how Meeks does, chasing him down. Could see Van Kirk waiting. He is the next battle. So 20 points separate first and second overall in the championship. Reader out front, Meeks in the chase position. Reader initiating. Meeks, wow, really gaining some ground there. Reader, good angle from Reader. Achilles radial Koenig, S13. Really standing on it is Reader, and Meeks gained some ground. Look at that, Meeks into formation. Woo-wee! Meeks really showing some muscle there towards the latter part.
Yeah, really on a thin line there was Meeks. Could have had a big mistake towards the end there, but was able to pull it off to some extent. You can see Reader out front, gaps him a little bit on the first turn, now through that second outer zone. Meeks right there on that midline through that second inside clip. Great job there. Now Meeks really trying to close the door. Reader on that tighter line through that inside clip, and you could see how Meeks had the potential to basically make a big mistake there. He does hit that last inside clip. So now seeing both drivers with their runs concluded here. Implications for Reader for the championship, just a 20-point lead coming in to this round.
Slide him left for Reader, right for Meeks and Travis Reader. What is the fate? Ryan says Austin Meeks. Brian and Andy say one more time from Brian. And Andy says Austin Meeks takes out our current Pro 2 points leader. So Austin Meeks takes out our current points leader. 3 more battles left here in the top 16. Right now it is Sylvester Corgi against Matt Van Kirk. Matt Van Kirk from Seattle, the Drift-O-Matic. Here we go. And here comes Sylvester. Out front, big angle from Corgi. And Van Kirk getting lost in the smoke. Wow, Corgi just a plume of smoke. And Van Kirk, a big correction here and there. He is all over the track. Sylvester, snap, crackle, pop all over the track from Sylvester, but Van Kirk really sloppy, nowhere to be found.
Yeah, look at this initiation here by Corgi. Snappy, quick rate to angle, holds it, gets on it. You can see right there, Van Kirk has trouble from the onset. Now he's fighting the smoke line here. Falls way off, drops a tire back there. Huge gap established. Corgi through that second inside clip. Transitions a little bit early, and that caused him to not fill that outer zone completely. But overall, not a lot of mistakes for Corgi out front, just blazing through and strong. And this is, if Corgi wins, that would keep Matt Van Kirk at bay against Travis Reader, because they would both have been knocked out in the top 16. So that has got Reader probably cheering for Corgi here to get the win against Van Kirk. Third place we have Robinson. He's 70 points away, so he's still in competition, has an opportunity. But so far, we've got this battle to our attention right here as Matt Van Kirk now takes the lead against Sylvester Corgi.
Van Kirk gets the win. Could get a jump in the overall championship. All right, Van Kirk out front. And Sylvester Corgi in the chase position. Clean start, no cones hit. Initiating into the Black Magic Intense rear clipping zone. Van Kirk wavering. He approaches that front clip, exploding it. Is Sylvester Corgi. Van Kirk looking a lot more comfortable out front, coming in hot into that rear clipping zone. Whoa.
So these battles seem to be seesawing back and forth here. Now Van Kirk out front. Corgi really tight, explodes that front inside clip. Big gap here. And you can see Corgi still behind, shallowing up, trying to close the door. A little bit of trouble there towards the end by Van Kirk, but gets through the finish line.
So the championship at risk here for Van Kirk. Van Kirk there in that orange S13. Slide him left for Van Kirk and slide him right for Corgi, Sylvester. And look at this. Ryan says Sylvester. Brian says one more time. And Andy says one more time. They are going at it again. So another one more time. Fate not yet sealed for Travis Reeder.
I gave Van Kirk an incomplete on the first one, so that's why I went with Sylvester. He understeered around the first corner.
All right, so we are now seeing Riley Sexsmith versus Brandon Schmidt. Sexsmith in the NV Auto Subaru, and Brandon Schmidt, that mast-powered S chassis. And here we go. Sexsmith out front. Schmidt in the chase position. Sexsmith locks him up. Look at that. Getting that car lifted up. Schmidt almost goes into him. Backs off a bit. Sexsmith ripping through the course. Here comes Schmidt.
Solid lead run there by Sexsmith out front. Probably the best lead run that we've seen so far. Dips a little tire there. You can see some sparks come up. And Schmidt just has some trouble from about this point forward. You can see he gets lost in the smoke line here. Really struggling to hold angle and stick with Sexsmith. Sexsmith just breezes through that last section and that outer zone and through that inside clip just very smoothly. Solid lead run by Sexsmith. Good start for him.
All right, so now Schmidt will be out front. Sexsmith in the chase position. And we should be clear to send. And there the lights are on, and now they're off, meaning it's send it time. Here we go, Schmidt out front. Sexsmith in the chase position. Nice job by Schmidt. Really pulling away, great angle from Schmidt. Does not get to that front clip though. Now using all the course, throwing up some dirt, taking out that cone mid-course in the power alley. Whoa, Sexsmith almost getting into a fight with the cones, or excuse me, the tire wall.
Well, Jared, this is a reason why we're seeing a lot of these one more times. You've seen one driver go out, put down a pretty solid lead run, and then just not able to follow it back up on the chase. Sexsmith falling victim to kind of the same thing here, though not as extreme. You can see out front Schmidt using the entirety of the course, but drops 2 wheels, it looks like there, from the touch and go area. Sexsmith is able to close the door, narrowly hits the tire wall. Doesn't fall off too far, so we'll see if that's enough. Definitely Sexsmith had the better of the 2 leads.
All right, so Sexsmith and Schmidt waiting the outcome. Slide him left for Schmidt, right for Riley Sexsmith. And Ryan says Riley Sexsmith. Brian says Brandon Schmidt. Andy says Riley Sexsmith. So it is 2-1, and it's Sexsmith gets the win. What's that? Oh, sorry. Actually, there is a correction there. All of the judges sided with Riley Sexsmith, so it was not 2-1. It was a majority, or all of it. It was a unanimous as Sexsmith gets the victory. All right, so we are seeing Andrew Haley and Josh Robinson. Haley in the BMW, Josh Robinson in his Holden U. Haley slingshotting away from Robinson, a wide swing here for Haley. Oh, and Robinson having some issues there in the chase position, some wavering. Haley through the power alley, firing off. And Robinson really having a tough go here in that chase position. Looked like he had some issues there, Ryan.
Yeah, I got to wonder if it was because Haley kind of slowed down a little bit. That was my first intuition, but let's take a look at it here. You can see Haley initiates. Robinson starting to close the door here, and then right there, he loses angle. Let's go back and see that again, but you can see after this, he's pretty much just nowhere to be seen in the battle. Nice job by Haley filling that zone. And then pretty tight on that last inside clip, but Robinson, after making that mistake, just not enough grip in the vehicle to get back into the competition with Haley.
Okay, so now we are going to be seeing Robinson out front, Andrew Haley in the chase position. Yeah, we've surprisingly only seen 3 one more times, but just seems to be just a lot of calamity as far as contact and finishing out runs if it's Travis Reeder and Austin Meeks. All right, 6 drivers already in the grade 8. And what happened to Haley? Oh, it looks like that is a restart. That is a restart. All right, so Robinson with a delayed start. You got to leave the start line when the light extinguishes. He quote unquote at the start line. Okay, Josh Robinson back out front. Second half of this battle. Robinson in that big Magnuson supercharged. Holden Ute. Andrew Haley in his BMW E30. And here we go. They leave the start line. Robinson through the start chicane. He had some issues in the chase position. How will Robinson throw down now? A lot more comfortable up front as Haley gets lost in the smoke. Haley gaining some ground. Oh man, bringing it around. You can see Robinson and Haley.
Well, we hear drivers talking a lot about just how difficult it is to drive through the smoke line here, especially through that center section. See Robinson out front, trying to get a good start here against Haley. Through that first inside clip, wide shooting out to that second outer zone. Haley trying to find the line here. Now he starts to attack as we hit this second inside clip. Robinson, good transition back around to that final third outer zone. Haley closing the door here through this last inside clip. And a cleaner run for both guys on run number 2.
All right, slide him left for Robinson, right for Andy Haley. And it looks like Andy Haley gets the win. Andrew Haley moves on, taking out the Holden Ute of Josh Robinson. Ryan, that shakes things up for the championship.
Yeah, Jared, it just sounds like Robinson pretty much eliminated himself from the championship there, the rest of the guys as well. And if Van Kirk is able to win this battle, it would tie him with Reeder at the current moment. So it looks like it is still down to those 2 guys right now in the championship, and we'll see how that fares.
So the Pro 2 championship not locked up. Even if he wins, he would tie with Travis Reeder. He would need to then, therefore, win against Kevin Lawrence in order for Van Kirk to really get the championship. But first, he needs to go through Sylvester Corgi. And right now, I'm seeing Van Kirk pull away from the start line. All right, so he did call a competition timeout. So Matt Van Kirk, who's in contention for the championship, if he moves on, he would tie Travis Reeder. If he gets knocked out, that would mean that Travis Reeder would be your 2017 Pro 2 champion. So don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break. Final battle of the top 16. Sylvester Corgi already on the line. Matt Van Kirk called the competition timeout. And Ryan, you were doing some due diligence here as far as the championship standings. What's going to unfold?
Well, it looks like if Matt Van Kirk does indeed win this battle, he would be tied in points with Travis Reeder. Now, that would mean that if he goes on to win in the grade 8, he would clearly get the championship. If he gets knocked out in the grade 8, he will still win the championship because the tiebreaker is the highest finisher of that round. So either way, he's going to win the championship if he wins this battle here. So everything is on the line for Van Kirk. If he gets knocked out here, Reeder wins. If Van Kirk wins here, he wins the championship.
Wow, wow. So no pressure, Matt Van Kirk, as Corgi Sylvester. Yeah, so again, Pro 2 championship on the line here. We're seeing the officials on the start line talking to Matt Van Kirk. And all right, we are seeing officials down there on the start line taking a look at Matt Van Kirk's vehicle. Safety is the priority. Make sure parts are in its place, and also fluids. Fluids could play a major role in the outcome. Okay, so the official still looking at Van Kirk's vehicle. Oh my goodness, so a crazy turn of events here. We saw Matt Van Kirk call his competition timeout, and now he pulls up to the start line, and Ryan, we're hearing that power steering fluid is pouring out of his vehicle. And look at that, Ryan. So, you know, quite a turn of events here. We talked about Matt Van Kirk having the fate of the championship in his hands. If he won, he would basically win the championship. But if he lost, Travis Reeder would be our champion.
Yeah, this is definitely a very sad turn of events for Matt Van Kirk, who was on the precipice of one more battle win, and he would win the championship by tying with Travis Reeder and then having the higher finish at this event. But now he's having to pull off the line, and it looks like he's potentially going to lose this battle.
Yeah, that's it. He used his competition timeout, did not get the car in running order, so that means Sylvester Corgi will get an automatic win. He'll get a bye run here to advance on, and that would mean that Travis Reeder is your 2017 Pro 2 Formula Drift champion. So Travis Reeder, who goes out early in the 16, Van Kirk gets knocked down the 16, so Travis Reeder is your 2017 Black Magic Pro 2 Formula Drift champion, presented by Blackview Dash Camera. So with that, Reeder will grab the championship. Sylvester Corgi will grab the bye run, advancing on into the Great 8. So not the way you want to get handed the victory or the championship, but these gentlemen have done battle with each other over 4 rounds of competition. And the Sylvester Drift S chassis coming in hot into that rear zone, and right there, Sylvester Corgi advances on into the Great 8. Ryan, unfortunate circumstances there, but you know, again, like I said, four rounds these guys have seen to work towards being a champion. So slide them left for Sylvester, slide them right for Van Kirk. You know which way they're going to go. And there you have it. Sylvester Corgi gets the victory and advances on to the Great 8. We are now in the Great 8 of the Pro 2 Championship. And Ryan, you know what? We kind of got ahead of ourselves. We talked about and focused on the 2 gentlemen and even the top 4, but we didn't count out, or, you know, we didn't take into account of the qualifying points, because Kevin Lawrence can actually mathematically become the champion. He would have to win the event, but because he's 78 points out, you get 80 if you win. So Kevin Lawrence would need to win this thing, and he could be Pro 2 champion, right? right, so Ryan says, yep, keep moving. All right, so again, so Kevin Lawrence, so it is not locked up. So again, I digress. Travis Reeder is not officially your champion yet. There is another contender in Kevin Lawrence in his Injuku Racing S chassis vehicle. So Ula Jager, Austin Meeks, our first battle of the Grade 8. We'll see Kevin Lawrence. He's going to be going against Sylvester Corgi on the other side. He's the third battle going into this Grade 8. So here we go. We are seeing Ula Jager, Austin Meeks, our first battle of the Grade 8. All right, here we go. This is Jager out front. And Meeks in the chase position. Jager throwing it in. Whoa, Austin Meeks diving in on Jager in the Toyota Supra. Coming to the power rally. Austin Meeks right there. Meeks transitions, wavering, straightening out. Really getting lost in the smoke. Around that final clip, Meeks had some major mistakes there.
Yeah, at first pass, it just looked like he was being a bit overly aggressive there on this first turn. You can see the initiation here by Jager. Meeks already putting the pressure on. May have rubbed him there, but right through this section, you can see really putting the pressure and almost supersedes the front wheels of Jager and then gets out of whack. He's unable to hold that line as he was nearly passing Jager. And at this point, you can see Jager out front, missing that inside clip by just a little bit there, but it looks like at first pass it's going to be a mistake on Meeks there. Here it is one more time, Jared. You can see Jager going into that first corner. Meeks surging forward, struggling to hold the angle with Jager, and then right there just is not able to hold the line and the angle at that section of the course.
So we are now going to see the role reversal here as Austin Meeks will be out front and Ula Jager will be in the chase position. All right, here we go. And there's Austin Meeks. Huge angle there, has to take some out of it. Flicks it into the big sweeper. Overshoots that front clip, but now throwing it down. Jager nowhere to be found as Meeks explodes that front clip. Meeks challenging. Oh, going the wrong direction is Meeks. And Jager overshoots as well. Ryan, let's take a look at this again.
That was pretty wacky, but you know, my first intuition is basically it's going to be a 0-0, an independent 0-0 on this particular run. Meeks' car is incredibly fast. You can see just the amount of grip that he gets out of the car through that second outer zone. Huge gap established here, but watch him as he comes into the foreground here. And we'll get Ryan on. He's going to straighten up, go off course. Now there's your first incomplete. Jager, on the other hand, sees it. He's accelerating. He goes off course. That could be a second incomplete. Now, would that be two independent incompletes? The run's over.
Go ahead.
Austin Meeks, Ula Jager, slide him left for Meeks, right for Jager. And Ula Jager gets the victory and is going to the Final Four. What that means for Jager is also he is guaranteed a podium because he's in the Final Four. He's our #1 qualifier. So Ula Jager will receive his first Formula Drift podium ceremony. So Ula Jager advances on into the Final Four. Okay, so now we advance on to our next battle in the Grade 8. We are looking at Randall Waters and Alec Robbins. Randall Waters, very fast IES S14. Again, a new champion, or a potential, a Pro 2 champion will be crowned. Mathematically, Kevin Lawrence is in it. Andy Lapuka maybe as well. Here we go. So as we are seeing Alec Robbins around that first front clip. Waters. Whoa, way into the dirt goes Waters. Alec Robbins transitions into that third outer zone. Doesn't have the biggest degree of angle at that last rear clipping zone.
Well, you can kind of start to see Waters' section through the middle part of the course materialize as he leaves that second outer zone. Let's take a look here. As you can see out front, Robbins has that wide line, and Waters here is behind him. He's going to drop 2 tires, it looks like, and then he's going to be on that super wide line, which is going to force him on an awkward line back. So he's having a tough time there through the middle section of the course. Robbins not the greatest lead run, but it was Waters that probably made the bigger of the mistakes in the chase overall.
All right, you can see the red lights illuminated in between them. And now leaving the start line. Let's get a clean start here. And we do. Waters throws it in. Progressively through the corner, throwing some more angle into it. Alec Robbins. It's going to be very difficult for him. Doesn't have the bright headlights. So coming into this outer zone. And Waters powers through.
Waters fighting back here on run number 2. Let's take a look at this. As you can see, nice initiation, gets to angle, right back on throttle here. Robbins on the inside, shallowing up, makes a little bit of a mistake in the chase there as Waters tries to get out to that second outer zone. Good job coming through across the center this time, nice and wide through the touch and go. Good inside clip there, and that third outer zone, pretty deep there, just misses that third inside clip by about a hash mark and a half. But overall, pretty decent lead run there by Waters as both drivers now await the judge's call.
All right, so the Coro Works Nissan Z waiting there against Waters, who's advancing on to go against Ula Jager. And that's a one more time from Ryan. Oh, it's a one more time. So it's a one more time battle. Andy sides with Alec Robbins, but it's a one more time between Waters and Robbins. All right, so there is a lot of debris towards the latter portion of the track right after that final rear clipping zone. So we're going to take a short break and clean it up. Welcome back here to the Grade 8 action. As we just cleaned up, we have one driver already in the Grade 8. One driver already, in the Final Four. Ula Jager advancing on to the Final Four. Now we're going back to the one more time. Randall Waters, Alec Robbins. Let's get back into it. So there's a one more time battle between these two gentlemen. Let's see what you got. Alec Robbins will lead. He qualified 5th. Randall Waters qualified 13th. And here we go. Send it, fellas. Here we go. Alec Robbins ripping out of the start. See Waters tapping the brakes. Robbins shimmying his way past that front clip into the power alley, dancing in the dirt. Robbins past that front clip into that third outer zone. A lot more confident with that position. And Robbins keeps it tight as Waters.
Well, we're all going to be paying attention to that last corner. Waters definitely overshooting it. and going all four off course. Just a matter of was it before the finish line. Robbins out front. This looks like a better first pass for him. He does drop that left rear. Robbins right there, excuse me, Waters right there actually goes a little bit deep into the touch-and-go area. Now watch Waters here in the chase. He's going to come up really hard, and then right there, it does look like he dropped all four before the finish line. And that could be an incomplete for him there.
All right, here we go. Keeping it stinky out here on the track. That's Randall Waters, IAS S14. Wow, Waters really putting it down out front. Alec Robbins needs to gain some ground here in that PRO2 Z. Waters ripping past that front clip into that outer zone. Goes Waters. Is that enough to offset him going off course? Wow.
I think it was a big ask there for Waters. He did pretty much what he needed to do, or everything that he could do in the lead position here, but going all four off is going to be a tough hill to climb. He's going to have to look for Robbins to make an equal mistake. Robbins kind of stays in it here a little bit. He does fall back as we come through this power alley. Almost goes off course himself. You can see he punts that cone in the power alley right near the touch and go. Almost straightening out there also too is Robbins, but is that enough? Here's run one again, Jared, as we go back. We'll take a look at Waters closely again going off course. You can see Waters very competitive through this section of the course. Robbins through that second outer zone. Nice snapping transition back. There's Waters' first brush with the off-course marker, and then right here just surging forward. Drops all four. You can see the yellow cones there designating the finish line. And so now we've got both runs in the books.
Randall Waters, Alec Robbins, slide him left for Waters, right for Robbins, and Alec Robbins, 2-1, gets the victory. Alec Robbins, the PRO2 Z advances on into the final four. So, Ula Jager versus Alec Robbins in the final four. Now the other side of the bracket, Sylvester Corgi versus Kevin Lawrence. K-Law will be leading. He qualified second. He's got a lot of work ahead of him if he wants to play the spoiler in the championship. Coming into this round of competition, Kevin Lawrence was sitting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He was sitting in 5th place. And here we go, Kevin Lawrence, Sylvester Corgi. Lawrence initiates into that rear zone. Corgi right there, making his presence felt on Kevin Lawrence's door. Into the power, oh, and Corgi spins. Sylvester spins out as Kevin Lawrence comes into that outer zone. Works it in, and Kevin Lawrence executes properly out front. Now, Corgi has yet to move. Let's take a look at this again here, Ryan.
Yeah, Corgi now starting to move off course, but this is where the action took place. Lawrence out front initiates big smoke cloud here. You can see Corgi a little bit less angle, and then right there you can see Corgi gets on the brakes and then just loses it right there and spins out. It doesn't on first pass look like anything weird from Lawrence out front. We did see Corgi get on the brakes in the chase position, and that big illumination there.
Sylvester Corgi did call a competition timeout. You want to rattle off there, old Stinky? All right, so Sylvester Corgi calls a competition timeout. He pulls over in the pits, and his car is unable to run. So that means Kevin Lawrence will take this bye run and advance on. Then Riley Sexsmith, he was doing a burnout, and what do we got, Stinky?
He debeated a tire in the burnout box, and because it was before competition, he had the opportunity to call a competition timeout. So now he's utilized his competition timeout, and you know, crazier things have happened, but it's all fun. It's the last PRO2 event of the year.
Yeah. All right, so Kevin Lawrence, this is his bye run. He moves another step closer to potentially not only winning, but call it what it is, taking the championship away out of the grips of Travis Reeder. So mathematically, this gentleman, Kevin Lawrence, 78 points outside of first place. All right, so our final battle of the Great 8, Riley Sexsmith and Andrew Haitley. So Riley Sexsmith qualified 3rd compared to Haitley qualifying 6th. So as Riley Sexsmith again was warming up his tires, one of the tires debeaded, he had to call his competition timeout. So the NV Auto Subaru BRZ. Now seeming to not have a problem warming up, huh? All right, so there it is. Now Andrew Haitley in the burnout box. Ryan, you know, we're all about Pro 2 right now, but Pro Championship should be an exciting one tomorrow. What are you looking forward to?
Well, you know, in what would be a very rare feat, James Dean does have an opportunity to clinch the championship if he were to win the event, and Frederick Oswald were to go out in the top 32 from at least the initial calculations that we've done. But you know, knowing Frederick Oswald, he will certainly try his best to make that not happen, and they are on the same side of the bracket, so that could potentially be an advantage or an opportunity for Osbo going in Irwindale if he was able to meet James Dean at some point on the left side of the bracket and defeat him. And this year I believe they are one win apiece, if I remember correctly.
One peach. They got an impeach or they got a peach?
They both got one peach.
They got one peach.
But yeah, Osbo in Montreal and more recently in Seattle with James Dean. So, but lots of action tomorrow, and it's always great under the lights here. So, looking forward to it.
All right, so here we go, our final battle of the Great 8. Who is Kevin Lawrence going to be going against? Riley Sexsmith or Andrew Haitley? Sexsmith initiates. Wow, throwing some sparks there. Is Sexsmith. A little bit wonky there out of the gate for both the guys. Now into the power alley. Sexsmith ripping through the power alley. Haitley coming in hot. Shallows it up, does not get all the way to that outside zone as Sexsmith performed some surgery there on track, really flying through the course, Ryan.
Well, we saw something similar to this earlier in one of the battles with Sexsmith. He drops that tire, throws some sparks up, but pretty much maintains a nice solid lead run throughout the entirety of this course. You can see he's got a gap here established from Haitley. Haitley trying to close the door here as Sexsmith comes into that second inside clip. Really does a great job filling that third outer zone. It just taps that last inside clip, but it was the chase run that really got to Sexsmith and cost him one more times for him. But hopefully he can learn from that, and Haitley himself also has an opportunity here to try to match that lead run of Riley Sexsmith.
Okay, now we are seeing we will see Haitley out front, Sexsmith in the chase position. All right, waiting for the officials to make sure everything is clear, and we are ready to go. Haitley out front, Sexsmith in the chase. Here goes Haitley, past the point of no return, gets into, oh, Sexsmith comes in hot, there's contact made. Let's take a look here again. There was contact made Who was at fault? Was there slowing? Was there speeding? What's going on?
Well, here we go. Let's take a look at it here. Haley, you can see right there. Looks like he slows a little bit there. Now, there is going to be some slowdown on the initiation, but the judges do want you to get right back on throttle as soon as possible. And this is an area that we have seen things like this happen in the past. Here it is, slowed down a little bit. You can see Haley. Now let's watch the rear wheel, see if we can see anything. You can see the contact there. Sexsmith got on the brakes and then started accelerating, expecting Haley to accelerate, I think. And then there was contact again. Here it is right here. You can see a little bit of decel there from Haley, apparently at first pass from me. And then the run is over. So Ryan, any chance for you to digest what happened there? What do you think?
Yeah, so there's a very slight slowdown basically before outside zone 1. In this case, it looks like Haley initiated. He's still on the brakes past the zone. There's no smoke. His car seems to be unwinding. Once Riley hits him, he actually goes to angle and then for some reason drives off to the side. It looked like getting tapped like that actually got him to the angle he should have been at before he got hit. So in my eyes, it looked like Haley was slowing down in that area where he shouldn't have been.
All right, so the judges scrutinizing the runs, and now the two drivers await. One of these gentlemen is going against Kevin Lawrence in the Final Four. Again, this is the final battle of the Grade 8. Slide him left for Haley and right for Riley Sexsmith. Riley Sexsmith advances on, and he is going to the Final Four. Our Final Four is set. As I said, Sexsmith will be going against Kevin Lawrence, but first we will be seeing Bula Jager versus Alec Robbins. Again, Bula Jager guaranteed a podium. If he loses due to his #1 qualifying position, he will receive 3rd place, but obviously he wants to shoot for the top of the box. Bula Jager from Norway going against Alec Robbins, the MDU champion from last year, Midwest Drift Union. Driver of the CoroWorks 350Z, again 2016 MDU champion from Becker, Minnesota. As we are seeing, looks like Bula Jager step into the burnout box and light him up. And the history with this vehicle runs pretty deep as well. This car is called Chucky, and this was the Toyota Supra that brought Frederick Osbo over here to drift the first time we saw Osbo at the Red Bull Drifting World Championship. So this vehicle has a lot of storied history. Coming to us from Norway now, another up-and-comer. Again, our #1 qualifier, Bula Jager, now piloting this vehicle. Shout out to all those out at Gotbill. I know Gotbill's going on this weekend, so a lot of Norwegians cheering on. Not only Frederick Osbo, but they're looking at Bula Jager. Alec Robbins, as I said, 2016 Midwest Drift Union champion from Minnesota. A brand new vehicle prepared by CoroWorks, operating out of Atlanta, Georgia. Check out CoroWorks.com. Really cool, nice, clean shop out in Atlanta, Georgia. Here we go. So we have Bula Jager. All right, so here comes Jager versus Robbins, and you know it's got to be tough for Robbins to see. Those aren't the brightest lights available. And here comes Jager out front, lights him up. Robbins gains some ground, backs off, even a safe distance between legs and closer. Jager with a wide swing around that first front flip. Now into the power alley. Jager ripping through. Oh, wow. Alec Robbins punting that front clip. So there were some moments of greatness for both drivers. Let's take a look at this again here, Ryan.
Yeah, and some line issues as well for both drivers. Ola gets that left rear right in the middle section of that outer zone. But like you said, Jared, a very wide swing here. Just blows by that first inside clip. Out through this second zone. Watch Robbins right here in the chase. He's going to lose some angle, and he's going to center line that second inside clip. Great job by Jager getting through that third outer zone, but he is going to miss that last inside clip. So a few line issues for both drivers. A little bit of wavering coming through the power alley from Robbins. But now you've seen the lead run from Jager and the chase run from Robbins. They'll switch it up. And we'll compare lead to lead, chase to chase, and who did the best overall. Try to find out if we can get a winner here to go to the finals.
All right, so let's see Alec Robbins out front. Looks like the track staff got it back in order again. The winner going to the finals, Bula Jager. All right, take a whiff of the beautiful, nice, smoky, nice evening here in Texas. It's a bit musky at times as well. Look at that, you got your 1, 2, 3, and number 5 qualifying driver. Can Alec Robbins take out the driver? Oh, and Alec throws it in. You see him have to back off. And it looks like Jager will be going to the finals. Oh, wow, exploded. Really taking out that front bumper. Yeah, it looks like Robbins having some issues there, but Bula Jager puts it down with Robbins making a mistake. Ryan?
Yeah, it just looks like he has some issues there through that first section of the course. It'll be an easy win here for Jager. A solid weekend for him so far, that #1 qualification. And he'll be heading to the finals against the winner of this next battle, which is Lawrence and Sexsmith, #2 and #3 respectively.
All right, so it looks like the Jager bomb is going to advance on here. Alec Robbins, slide him right for Bula Jager, and there it is. Jager gets the victory. He's going to the finals. And Kevin Lawrence and Riley Sexsmith. There is Kevin Lawrence warming up his hand-cooked tires. Riley Sexsmith. Sexsmith in that NV Auto Subaru BRZ. Now it's his turn to warm up his tires. The winner to go against Bula Jager in the finals, and notably Kevin Lawrence going for not only the victory here, but then eventually against Jager if he takes down Sexsmith, and he would grab the victory in grandiose fashion because he would take the 2017 championship home as well. All right, so the guys are ready. The tires are warmed, and here we go. Kevin Lawrence qualified second. Riley Sexsmith qualified third. This should be an equally paired matchup here between Lawrence and Sexsmith. And away they go from the start line. Let's see if Lawrence can throw it down. Good initiation from Lawrence. Good degree of angle. Sexsmith lacking the angle, gaining ground on him. Lawrence, little shimming into that outer zone. Sexsmith goes wide. Throwing some sparks and a lot of dirt up in the air. And Kevin Lawrence continues the paces. takes out that final front clip.
Well, Kevin Lawrence is certainly looking down the pipe of playing a very impossible card and getting to the end of it here, because he starts off with a pretty strong lead run, and we see just that mistake right there. But you can see that Sexsmith goes off course quite a bit, makes a large mistake of his own, and allows Kevin Lawrence to fill that third outer zone with him nowhere to be seen, Sexsmith that is, and then crossing the finish line. So just that tiny little flub from Lawrence right before that second outer zone, but overall pretty good lead run. Meanwhile, Sexsmith, quite a big mistake through the power alley.
Okay, so now Sexsmith will be out front. Sexsmith, a rally racer as well, as Lantain was kind of joking as well. He thought he was in his STI. I thought he was rallying there, getting into the dirt, throwing up some dust. And looks like the track is back up and ready to be run. The winner to go against Bula Jager. The loser of this battle will grab third place, and the winner against Jager in the finals. Sexsmith will be out front, Lawrence in the chase position. And here goes Sexsmith. Throws it in, Lawrence throwing it out there. A lot of sparks dropping from the back end of Sexsmith's car. Sexsmith ripping into the power alley. Into that final outer zone goes Sexsmith. Lawrence shores it up quite a bit. And around that final clip. Would have liked to seen Lawrence be a little more aggressive here, but no major mistakes outside of some of the zones.
Well, pretty standard move right there on initiation from Sexsmith. He's been doing that all night long, dropping those sparks. He's had some of the better lead runs here. He too makes a little bit of a flub, like kind of a correction right there before outer zone number 2. Misses that second inside clip, but blazing through here. You have to say that Lawrence had the better of the leads, it looks like. Now it's going to come down to the comparison of the chases. And we saw Sexsmith go off course. So on paper, that might be enough for Lawrence to do the near impossible, even though he did have a little bit of distance there between him and Sexsmith on his chase run. Sexsmith did go off course quite a bit.
All right, so the smoke still looming in the air. You can see Big Haas. Sexsmith and Lawrence slide them left and right, and there they go. Kevin Lawrence is going to the finals. He's only one competitor away from not only grabbing the victory, but also grabbing the 2017 championship unofficially. Wow, look at that. What a crazy turn of events. The finals are set. You have Norway's own Bula Jager, who qualified #1. Can he make it a perfect event? But he's gonna have to go through Kevin Lawrence. He qualified #2. He just took out Riley Sexsmith. He made his way through Sylvester Corgi, as well as he took out George K. Then Bula Jager, he started off taking out Donovan Brockway. Then he went up against Austin Meeks, and then taking out Alec Robbins. So Riley Sexsmith will grab third place in the Pro 2 round of competition here at Texas Motor Speedway. And then we have the finals. Who's going to get it? All right, welcome back, and here we are with the Pro 2 finals. Ryan, we're talking about Kevin Lawrence here. It seems to be he has the spotlight on him because we announced that Travis Reeder was the champion, but mathematically we did not take a look because he was 5th coming in. But Kevin Lawrence, there's a spotlight on him.
Yeah, and if you take a look back at his season so far, it's actually a pretty telling story. He had a first place in Orlando. That was the kickoff event of the year. As far as we show here, it was a no-show in Atlanta, a top 8 in Monroe, and if he gets this win, that means he would have had 2 events with 2 wins and a no-show, and that's still enough for him to win the championship. So that's what can happen in a short season like that with just 4 rounds. And right now he's pretty much taking on the impossible and looking down the eye of a Pro 2 championship.
All right, so here we go. This is the finals. We are seeing Norway's own Ula Jager versus Kevin Lawrence in the finals as we are about to light it up. Oof. Strong wind blowing through here. Here we go. Ula Jager, Japan Auto, Toyota Supra, Kevin Lawrence in that chase position, drops into formation right against Jager. Woo! Look at this. Nice job by Kevin Lawrence. A solid lead run there from Jager. Kevin Lawrence chases him. No, and Lawrence goes 4 off. Just pushes too hard for Lawrence. Thankfully, he saves the car. That could have gotten a lot uglier. But Ryan, that could be it, but it is not over just yet.
Well, that was probably the best chase run we've seen all night up until that point. Kevin Lawrence comes out very aggressive, dives into the pocket here, taps Ola right there on the inside, but Ola stays in it. Then through the second outer zone, watch the transition. He's going to come through the transition a little bit early. Yep. He goes inside that clipping point, so that is pretty much an incomplete there. And from the rest of the run on, Ola just needs to make it through, and he does that. So Jager will have an advantage here after a very impressive start by Kevin Lawrence, but not able to close as he comes through that second to last inside clip.
All right, so again, we are now going to switch it up as Lawrence will now lead and Jager will give chase. Again, if Lawrence gets the victory here, he will win this round of competition as well as the 2017 Pro 2 champion, Travis Reeder. He is watching.
There was a funny one.
Second place, so Ryan getting some notes here. Second place, Kevin Lawrence loses by 18 points, and a win equals wins by 2 points. So again, if Kevin Lawrence takes the victory, he wins by 2 points. If he loses, he is in second just by 18 points. So Travis Reeder and his team looking on. And here we go. This is it. This is for all the marbles. Let's send it here, Texas. Pro 2 Championship at stake. Kevin Lawrence out front at Juku Racing. The Hankook tires go ablaze. Ula Jager wants to get his first ever Formula Drift podium, and it could be a win here in the Lone Star State. Kevin Lawrence ripping through the course, takes out that front clip. Is that enough? As we saw Kevin Lawrence go 4 tires off.
Ola really flirting with disaster there, establishes a huge gap as Kevin Lawrence out front after this first inside clip into the second outer zone. Ola way back here. Now let's keep an eye on him because it looks like he loses drift here through the smoke line right there. It looks like he almost opposite drifts. And then we lose him through that section of the course. Very, very close there to a potential incomplete. Judges may be asking for some additional replays.
All right, so Ryan, waiting for the judge's verdict.
Yeah, just waiting on the judge's verdict at this point. I mean, Ola certainly not making it easy on himself. Let's see what we got.
No, yeah, like you said. Oh, look at that! It's a one more time. One more time across the board. So Kevin Lawrence, I have to say, catches a lucky break there. And Lantain, everybody went one more time, and you were one of the judges, obviously. It was unanimous, one more time.
Yes, it was. So clearly Lawrence made a big mistake in his chase position, went 4 wheels off. On Jager's chase, there was really no proximity at all through the majority of the course. He was kind of close on the first corner, but after that, there was nothing. And then what happened is he transitioned too early. The car straightened up. His line was very poor. It was just a very bad situation on Ula's part. I didn't give it an opposite drift, which was what the other guys were looking for. I just said it was a straighten through that area, which I also gave him an incomplete for, and because of the lack of proximity and everything else. So I just believe that he didn't deserve to win with that chase run.
Right.
So we should see it again and give them both a chance, especially since it's the finals right now. This has to be a good, clean battle. We want to see who really wins this battle in this position. So that's why I went with one more time.
All right, so it was unanimous, so one more time. These guys will get some more fuel, get some tires underneath their vehicles, and they will be back at it in just a few moments. So Ula Jager and Kevin Lawrence. Kevin Lawrence catches a lucky break on that second run. Who's going to get the win? The championship still up for grabs when we come back. Again, Ula Jager and Kevin Lawrence here in the finals. Welcome back here. We are live at Texas Motor Speedway. This is the final round of the 2017 Pro 2 Championship. And notably, Kevin Lawrence still mathematically available to not only win the event, but also take the Pro 2 Championship from the grips of Travis Reeder. Coming into this round, 20 points separated Reeder and Van Kirk. Van Kirk went out in the 16, as did Reeder. But mathematically, Kevin Lawrence, if he wins this, he will win by 2 points. So Lawrence, a lot at stake here, not just the win. He won in Orlando. Ryan was going through the stats. He won in Orlando, no show in ATL, top 8 in Seattle, and here he is, potentially going to be the Lone Star in grandiose fashion. We're still going to send it as Kevin Lawrence pulls up. Again, number 2 qualifier against number 1 qualifier. So deservedly here in the finals. And Ula Jager will lead. Jagerbombs. And the red lights extinguish. Send it, fellas. Jager and Lawrence. FD Pro 2 finals. Jager throws it down. Kevin Lawrence off to a good start. Oh, looks like we got some door bashing here. Jager, a wide swing around that front clip. Lawrence barely drifting. Minimal angle from Lawrence, really shortens up on that final clipping zone. Let's take a look at this again, Ryan. I mean, was he drifting through the power alley? I mean, it was hard to see.
Well, a very similar start here for Kevin Lawrence. He dives right inside, gets into the pocket right there against Jager. Looks like he almost taps him again. He may have. Jager goes really wide, and Lawrence is right up against his door here. Now, last time he transitioned through and went all 4 off. This time he's got a little bit less angle, but he's able to stay inside on the course. Jager is able to hit that last outside zone, but goes a little bit wide on that final inside clip. So overall, it was a better run for Lawrence, a decent lead run by Ula Jager, and a much better battle here to the start of this one more time battle in the final. So it's really going to come down to this final run here, and can somebody stand out amidst these 2 lead runs and chase runs?
All right, so this is the one more time battle between these 2 gentlemen. And now Lawrence K-Law will be out front. Again, coming to us from Florida, Kevin Lawrence. Be quite a victory for him, flying the Florida flag. And here we go, Kevin Lawrence out front. He grabbed the win in Orlando. Can he bring home a win and a championship as flames erupt from the back end of the Juku Racing S chassis? Kevin Lawrence tight to that front clip. He's got the clean air. Jager struggling in that chase position. Kevin Lawrence through the power alley. Kevin Lawrence brings it into that outer zone. And past the finish line goes Lawrence.
Yeah, you did it.
Jager and Lawrence. Ryan, let's look at this here again.
Peaking at the right time is what every athlete wants to do, and Kevin Lawrence looks like he's doing that here. Jager tries to surge here through that first inside clip, but Lawrence heads out to that second outer zone. Nice smooth transition across. Jager falls way far behind, but you can see Lawrence through that second inside clip, deep into that final and third outer zone, making it look very smooth through that final inside clip. Huge smoke line through the finish line is Kevin Lawrence, and he may have just done the impossible. He was an afterthought before we came into this event.
We counted him out. I was like, hey, I'm being fed things from you and from the whole staff, and I said that Reader was going to be the champion.
And now he finds himself in the finals, putting on a great show. Nonetheless, it's been a very exciting story for Kevin Lawrence and also for Ola Jager, who has #1 qualification and into the finals.
All right, so we do have a winner. We do have a winner. We'll bring them here in front of the bleachers, announce it here on track, and then join us at the podium ceremony. So again, we'll bring Ola Jager, and Kevin Lawrence. Riley Sexsmith grabs 3rd place. Riley Sexsmith in that NV Auto Subaru BRZ grabs 3rd place. So again, Travis Reader, I unfortunately announced that he was champion earlier, but mathematically Kevin Lawrence was still able to grab the championship. And if he gets the win here, he will be your 2017 Pro 2 champion. Again, if Kevin Lawrence wins, he'll be your 2017 Pro 2 champion by 2 points, edging out that of Travis Reader, and then of course of Matt Van Kirk. All right, bring him right there in front of the stands. All right, as these 3 final podium finishers here in Texas, make some noise for all 3 of them. As they step outside of their vehicles, make some noise for our top 3 finishers. First up, we know who got 3rd place. 3rd place here at the final round of the Pro 2 Championship in the NV Auto Subaru BRZ. Make some noise for Riley Sexsmith. Here's your 3rd place finisher. Again, big round of applause for all the drivers throughout the Pro 2 Championship this season. It's been one for the books. These are the rising stars. Are we going to see them in Pro next year? We will soon find out. And now finally, your winner here at Texas Motor Speedway, playing the final round, round 4 of the Black Magic Pro 2 Formula Drift Championship presented by Blackview Dash Cameras. Again, if Kevin Lawrence is handed the victory or earns the victory, he will be your 2017 Pro 2 champion, with Travis Reader in 2nd, and then that of Matt Van Kirk in 3rd. Your winner here at Texas Motor Speedway, the final round, is Kevin Lawrence. It's unanimous. Kevin Lawrence gets the victory, and he is your winner here at Texas Motor Speedway and your 2017 Pro 2 champion in the Juku Racing, BC Racing Hankook Tires S chassis. That means from Norway, Ola Jager. Ola Jager, giving him a hug. 2nd place here in the Japan Auto Toyota Supra. Jager in 2nd and Sexsmith in 3rd. Congratulations, Kevin Lawrence. What Ryan said, he did what you thought was impossible. So our hearts and prayers and thoughts are with those enduring Harvey, Irma, and the storms to follow.
Great Pro 2 season, amazing comeback by Kevin Lawrence. Didn't count himself out and made himself a true champion here tonight.
Nice, well said. Well, on behalf of Ryan Sage and our whole Formula Drift staff, I'm Jared Dienda. We'll see you tomorrow for the 7th round of the Black Magic Formula Drift Pro Championship presented by Blackview Dash Cameras. Send it!